The market stress actually brings me back to the asset manager agenda. The SEC is looking at transition planning for investment advisors. It would cover, presumably, how an advisor would deal with dissolution or severe market stress, what happens when the firm can no longer serve its clients. As you know, investment advisors already are required to have business continuity plans, both under the compliance program rule and under their principles of fiduciary duty. Some have said that this transition planning concept is sort of an analog to living wills, the kinds of requirements that are required of banks under Dodd-Frank. Obviously, investment advisors are quite different from banks. We're not the asset owners. We are not insured or guaranteed. And clients, much to the distress of many of the folks here, can switch advisors really very easily. So with that kind of in mind, what are your thoughts on the approach to transition planning and how it may or may not differ from the living will concept?
Our staff is still working on providing a recommendation to us in this area, so I think it's still early for me to comment. But it's just basic common sense that all of you are already doing as you're planning for disruptive events, whether that's Hurricane Sandy, some type of market stress or pricing issue. So to some degree, this is, I think, a variation of best practices that people are already engaged in. I do not think it's really directly applicable to the living will, in the context of large global bank holding companies. But as we've had some recent events that we've been focused on at the Commission, how do you wind down or take care of a fund or a group of funds that might, have an issue? Money funds, ultimately was one of the factors that started this conversation. I think it's a healthy conversation to have. And ultimately, how to have an orderly dissolution, is important for every firm. So the actual thinking through how to do that is something most of you are probably already doing. And I think that's how most of us are, envisioning this process.
So it's likely that obviously you can't speak to the specifics of the rulemaking. It hasn't been proposed yet. But it sounds like it would be a principle-based rule that would be really a codification of what firms are already supposed to be.
It sounds like you're trying to get me to comment. I really can't. But again, at the end of the day, the staff will give us a recommendation. The commissioners will basically look at the recommendation, decide whether to vote yes, towards putting it out as a proposal for notice and comment. And then you'll have the ability to weigh in through letters or meeting with staff or with me to tell us what you think. So I hope all of you engage in that process as we go forward. And hopefully we'll end up taking some of your best practices and helping others implement them.
Well, we look forward to working with you on the proposal. And I'm sure, as we always do, we'll bring in some of our members to talk about their practices and how they might apply across the wide range of firms in our industry.